January 25th, 1972. A black woman walks into a room full of white men in suits. They're not expecting her. They never do. She's about to announce something impossible, something that breaks every rule written and unwritten. She's running for president of the United States. The room erupts, not with applause, with laughter, with dismissal, with rage. But Shirley Chisholm doesn't flinch. She's been underestimated her entire life, and she's about to prove them all wrong. How does someone with no money, no party support, and every door slammed in her face still manage to change history? And what does her story teach us about power when the system says you don't deserve any? This is the story of Shirley Chisholm, unbought, unbossed, unstoppable. Welcome to the Untold Spirit. Brooklyn, New York, 1924. Shirley Anita St. Hill is born to immigrant parents from Barbados. Her father works in a factory. Her mother cleans houses. They have nothing except expectations. Young Shirley spends years in Barbados with her grandmother, who teaches her something crucial. Speak up, even when your voice shakes, especially then. When she returns to Brooklyn, she's different, confident, sharp. She graduates college with honors, becomes a teacher, then a director of a child care center. But she sees something that gnaws at her. The people making decisions about her community, about schools, housing, health care, don't look like her, don't live like her, don't care like her. So in 1964, she runs for the New York State Assembly. Her opponents laugh. A black woman in politics? She wins. 4 years later, she runs for Congress. Again, they underestimate her. Again, she wins. Shirley Chisholm becomes the first black woman ever elected to the United States Congress. But that's just the beginning. Washington, D.C. is not ready for Shirley Chisholm. They assign her to the Agriculture Committee. Agriculture. She represents Brooklyn, one of the most urban districts in America. It's an insult, a way to silence her. She refuses the assignment, demands to be placed somewhere she can actually help her constituents. It's unheard of. Freshman congresspeople don't make demands. But Shirley Chisholm isn't interested in playing by their rules. She gets reassigned, and she gets to work, fighting for education funding, for child care programs, for the people everyone else ignores. But she wants more. She sees the presidency, the ultimate seat of power, and realizes something. If she waits for permission, she'll wait forever. So in 1972, she makes a decision that shocks the nation. She announces her candidacy for President of the United States. Imagine the audacity, a black woman running for president in 1972. The Democratic Party doesn't support her. The Congressional Black Caucus, her own colleagues, don't support her. Even many feminists turn away backing male candidates they think can actually win. She's alone, underfunded, dismissed as a publicity stunt. But Shirley keeps going. She campaigns in 12 states. She speaks to students, to working mothers, to anyone who listen. She talks about ending the Vietnam War, about universal child care, about economic justice. People start paying attention, not because she can win, everyone knows she can't, but because she's saying things no one else will say. She's not running to win, she's running to prove a point, that someone like her belongs in the conversation. The 1972 Democratic National Convention, Miami Beach. Shirley Chisholm walks onto the floor with 152 delegates. It's not enough to win, but it's enough to be heard. She stands at the podium, the cameras are rolling, the nation is watching, and for the first time in American history, a black woman's name is placed into nomination for President of the United States. She doesn't win the nomination, George McGovern does. He loses to Nixon in a landslide, but something shifts, something cracks open. Shirley Chisholm proved that the impossible is just the thing no one's tried yet. She serves in Congress for 14 more years. She fights for the Equal Rights Amendment. She co-founds the National Women's Political Caucus. She mentors a generation of leaders who will follow in her footsteps. But the cost is real. She faces death threats, assassination attempts, constant attacks on her character, her appearance, her right to exist in spaces that were never meant for her. She pays the price for being first, for refusing to wait her turn, for bringing her own folding chair when there was no seat at the table. So why don't we talk about Shirley Chisholm more? Maybe because her story is uncomfortable. It reminds us how recently the doors were locked, how hard someone had to fight just to be considered human enough to lead. Or maybe because she didn't win. We love stories about winners, but Shirley's legacy isn't about winning, it's about showing up anyway. She once said, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." That's the untold spirit. Not waiting for permission, not accepting the limits others place on you, not letting the word impossible be the final answer. If this story moved you, subscribe to the Untold Spirit. Every week, we uncover the hidden figures and forgotten moments that shaped our world. Because history isn't just about the names everyone knows, it's about the ones we forgot to write down. See you next time.